Someone wants to touch us.
हो गया ठीक है हाँ हो गया हो गया ठीक है हाँ हाँ हो गया
Hello, hello, Dr. Rakesh Roy. Hello, hello, Miss Barabyang Dakhar. Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, welcome. So, should we start? Huh? Let me try to join. Start now.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Hello, Dr. Rakesh.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining.
Welcome.
Okay, should we start? We'll,
Sure.
yeah. So, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to this online celebration of VigyanUtsav as part of Azadi Amrit Mahotsav through the SMT Council Network uh, on August 2022. So, in this regard, India is, we all know that it's celebrating its 75th Independence Day on the 15 August 2021. So, Honorable Prime Minister is under this uh, regards uh, all S&T Council is been directed to perform this online webinar every month. So, in order to showcase the emerging STI ecosystem and state leading to Atma Nir Bharat, a year-long program, uh, the Festival of Science has been planned, means under the Department of Science and Technology. So, this month theme is intellectual property rights. So, we have invited professor and from various university and also expert who is related to this team intellectual property rights. So I welcome everyone, uh, speakers and all the participants. So before we move on to our program schedule, first I would like to call Miss VL Lindo for welcome address. Ms. VL Lindo is an assistant program coordinator of State Council of Science Technology, Meghalaya. Ms. VL Lindo, this.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome you to this last edition of this VigyanUtsav celebration as part of Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav. So today the theme is intellectual property rights. And at the outset, my heartiest welcome to Dr. Debapriya Datta, Scientist F, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Dr. Rashmi Sharma, Scientist F, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. All the officials from TIFAC, New Delhi. All the officials from Dr. Ravikant, Scientist B, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and also my welcome to all the member secretaries from all the state S&T councils and union territories of the country joining us today in this program. Also, my warm welcome to Dr. Juram Beda, IAS, Member Secretary, State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya. And a warm welcome also to Shri A.S. Suting, Officer on Special Duty, State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya. And it is also a privilege to have with us speakers from different organizations who will be presented their different presentations in today's program. First, I would like to welcome Dr. Amit Chowdhury, Dean School of Business Sciences and Chief Coordinator, New Gen IEDC, University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya. Welcome, sir. Also, I would like to welcome Srimati Badabhyang T. Dikhar, Assistant Professor of Legal Practice, Jindal University, Haryana, and also founder of our library initiative. Welcome, ma'am, to this program. And also my welcome to Dr. Rakesh Roy, Assistant Professor, Electrical Engineering Department, National Institute of Technology, Meghalaya. Welcome, sir. And also, I would like to welcome all the officials from different line departments, organizations, etc., who will be joining us in today's program. So with these few words, once again, welcome you all. Thank you, Jai Hind and Kublai.
Thank you very much, Ms. Via Lindo, for short and very sweet welcome address. So, as part of the program schedule, we are going to display now a very short video of VigyanUtsav celebration.
में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री 15 अगस्त 2021 को भारत ने अपना 75वां स्वतंत्रता दिवस बड़ी धूम मनाया और साथ में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने लाखों करोड़ों लोगों
Share user. Share.
ने नई ऊर्जा और चेतना जगाई। उसी चेतना को बढ़ाने के लिए देश के सभी विभाग विशेष कार्यक्रम का आयोजन कर रहे हैं। समाज के लिए विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग द्वारा नावीन्य कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया गया है, जिसका नाम है विज्ञान उत्सव। विज्ञान उत्सव कार्यक्रम सितंबर 2021 से अगस्त 2022 तक चलेगा, जिसे डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया तथा स्टेट साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोग्राम के तहत मनाया जाएगा। विज्ञान उत्सव कार्यक्रम में STI के लगते विषयों आधारित राज्य स्तर पर विभिन्न प्रकार की प्रवृत्तियां होंगी, जिसमें राज्य स्तर पर STI संस्थान, मानव क्षमता विकास, R&D इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, स्वदेशी प्रौद्योगिकी, नवाचार और स्टार्टअप, विज्ञान संचार और लोकप्रियता, महिला वैज्ञानिक, विज्ञान और समाज, फ्यूचर टेक्नोलॉजी, आत्मनिर्भरता के लिए बुनियादी विज्ञान, आत्मनिर्भरता और उद्योग जैसे विषयों को शामिल किया गया है। विज्ञान उत्सव कार्यक्रम हमें आत्मनिर्भर भारत की ओर ले जाएगा। विज्ञान उत्सव में भारत के अलग अलग राज्य के SNC काउंसिल्स भागीदार होंगे, जो अपने राज्य की विज्ञान प्रवृत्तियां और नवाचार के विभिन्न पहलुओं की झांकियों का प्रदर्शन करेंगे। इसी के साथ हम सब अपने आत्मविश्वास को आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए बुलंद करेंगे। इसे आप YouTube चैनल और SSCP के वेब पोर्टल पर देख सकते हैं। आइए आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव हम सब मिलकर विज्ञान उत्सव के साथ मनाएं। विज्ञान उत्सव हम सबका अपना उत्सव।
So moving on to next part of the program, we have with us Ms. Arkausa. She is an assistant program officer of State Council of Science, Technology and Environment. She will be giving us a keynote address regarding today webinar program. Ms. Arkausa, please.
Very good morning to each and every one of you. So, as Bante had really said in the beginning also regarding this Vigyan Utsav celebration, which we are doing it in one month, one theme, right from last year, and this is the last month of this webinar celebration, which we are doing it with the direction from the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. So, with regarding the IPR, the intellectual property rights, I take this opportunity to inform the citizens of Meghalaya and the public in general regarding the PIC, the Patent Information Center, which is being set up in the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, SCSA, in 2019. And the councils under the direction of DST has set up this PIC or the Patent Information Center very shortly in 2019, and with the coming up of this COVID pandemic, not much work has been done so far. But I just want to highlight you about the objective of the center, which in the PIC, what we are doing. Number one, we are trying to create an awareness about the IPR in the states of Meghalaya, in which we conduct different awareness program at the college level, the university levels, and even at the grassroots level also. So many awareness program has been conducted so far, although with all with all these restrictions from the government, we done it online and offline also. And number two, the center is also trying in scouting of the innovations or the innovators at the grassroots level, in which we all know that innovation mostly are found in the grassroots level. And also we're trying to help or maybe to enable analyze the potential for those innovator or for those innovation which is innovative enough. And we are also guide, we are like mentor and guidance to the innovators in respect of the patenting the innovations. And we also catalyzing the protection of GI in the state. So I urge the departments of different departments of Meghalaya, the NGOs or any organization who wish to to file the GI with different potential products or produce of the states to please make use of the PIC of the SCST. And also we give the guidance of the IPR filing. That is, we are doing it for free, but for the fees regarding the IPR, it's the the one who wants to file the patents has to pay. But the service charge, we didn't take any kind of a service charge from the center. And also we're trying to set up the IPR cell at different colleges and university. And I would like to inform also one of the IPR cell had been set up in the USTM university, in which the MOU also has been signed between SCST and the USTM. And as already mentioned, that different activities has been taken up by the PIC with regards to awareness program, the trainings, and setting up the IPR cells, and also we're trying also to do the filing of the innovations which has been scouted in the field. And also I would so like to mention it again to please take this opportunity to make use the PIC of the SCSTE. Please come forward. We would like to help you in different components of the IPR with regards to patent, trademarks, and copyrights. So we are ready to help you with regards to all the components of the IPR. So with only this, I would like to conclude my keynote address. Thank you so much, and I wish all the speakers, invited speakers, all the best, and all the and this webinar also to be a successful one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Sridan, for the keynote address regarding all the activities and of PIC, Patent Information Center, which has been established here in the office. So without any further ado, we will go on to the next part of the program. That is, we are going to have a session from invited speakers. So first speakers of today's program is from Dr. Amit Chaudhary. So, sir, Dr. Amit Chaudhary is available. Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm online.
So Dr. Amit Chaudhary is the Dean, School of Business Science, USTM, Meghalaya. He's also the Chief Coordinator, Vigyan IEDC. He's also in charge of the innovation cells there in the university. Like Kong Ridan has mentioned, we have already established one IPR cells there in the university. So this IPR cell will help lots in catering all the IPR activities, IPR filings, and awareness program to the states of Meghalaya. So, sir, I hand over the platform to you. If you have any presentation, kindly note.
It's just a extempo, and thank you, Mr. Bante. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay. So, as I see the profiles of the other speakers, I would not dwell much into the intellectual property right. Rather, Madam Thakur is there, who is an expert in that particular field. So she will be, I hope, dwelling at length about the IPR. Nonetheless, I'd like to tell something about our center, which Mr. Bante has already said. We at USTM, University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya, since the past 5 years, since 2017, has been granted with the project of New Generation Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center by the Department of Science and Technology, more precisely the National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board. And as a result of that particular project that we have secured, courtesy Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, we have till date mentored around 85 prototype developments. 85 technologies were developed. However, the irony in this part of the country is our students are reluctant to venture into entrepreneurial ventures or go for a startup. Nonetheless, we are motivating them towards securing IPR. And why IPR? And as the name says, intellectual property rights, before expanding on it, I'd like to share a story. Once upon a time, there were a farm of hens, chicken, and there was a competition being set amongst the hens that the ones who lays maximum number of eggs in a month will be rewarded. Now, it so happened that the eggs were laid by n number of hens. There were mostly approximately around 500 numbers of hen, and on an average per day, the collection was 450 to 475 eggs. Now, there was a problem from the part of the organizer, whom to give the award, whom to give the reward. Because we were not able to, or rather the owner or the organizer was not able to recognize which egg was from which hen. So similar thing goes in the parlance of intellectual property also. Be it our creativity, be it our what you say inventions, be it our small incremental innovations, it needs to be safeguarded, it needs to be protected, and it needs to be identified with the creator. Because at a given point of time in the near future, there will be a situation wherein there will be claims and counterclaims on who was the first one to have started with this particular innovative practice, or who was the originator of the idea. Be it a creative song, be it a innovative music, be it a poem, be it a new species identified, be it a new drug which has been invented, or be it a new gadget which has been discovered or invented. And the examples are endless. Now, categorically, the technicalities of the IPRs will be, I think, explained by Madam Dakar. However, I'd like to just share the basic four types of IPR or intellectual property rights that we are provided with. The first one is a patent, then comes the industrial design, trademarks, trade secrets, geographic indication, and so on and so forth. Now, what it is, suppose the sun is giving us light. It's a universal knowledge, and nobody has to prove that who has said it first. Every one of us knows that the sun is giving us light, or sun provides light to the entire universe. But having said that, there are phenomena which are as a result of the sun giving us light. There are climate change in our own world, in our own earth. There are ozone layer depletion. These are being studied. These phenomena are being studied by climatologists or some experts from the area of geography. At the same time, the penetration of ultraviolet rays from the sun has been studied by physics or has been studied by some other exponents. And on one particular side, maybe in the field of medical science, new disease has been cited by the doctors for which the cures are not available. The diseases, more specifically as identified by the dermatologist, maybe some 20 to 30 years back, would have been some like white red patches around your skin. And one fine day, the conclusion was arrived at that these are due to the ultraviolet rays, which causes the harm on your skin. And somewhere down the cosmetic industry, somewhere down the cosmetologists were evolving certain, what you say, beauty creams or beauty lotions, which can provide this particular protection to the skin. And somewhere again in the particles or material sciences, there were experimentations going on, nanoparticles. And when combining all this field of knowledge, all this field of repositories of data, one fine day we got certain products which was labeled as sun protection factor 15, 25, 30, and so on and so forth. So this is how the cosmetic industry came up with a new product. This is how a particular invention was materialized from the department, so from the realm of material sciences upon the discovery of nanoparticles and so on and so forth. So what I mean to say is today, not a single innovation can be claimed as a result of or is because of a result of the effort of a single department or a single realm of science. Rather, it's interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary in nature. Having said that, the moment a new invention takes place, there is bound to be a particular debate on who gave the seed for that particular innovative idea. As far as the academic context are concerned, as far as academicians are concerned, we go for research papers, we go for research publications, but that does not qualify to adequately safeguard your intellectual property. Then what do we do? Maybe we can secure a patent by giving our idea, by giving the proposed design, by giving the proposed concept. And that is how things starts. And the moment we prove our claim within a period of 1 year or 6 months, maybe the patent will be granted to us. And having said that, once the patent is granted to us, then what happens is it becomes an intellectual property for the proponent who has secured that particular patent. And once a property, once we call an item a property, means what? It has a value. And this value can be traded upon. And patents, to my knowledge, are granted for 15 years, 10 years, and so on and so forth. Means whoever uses your patent is bound to give you a royalty, is bound to make you earn something. Or outright, you can also go for selling your patent to certain industries or certain exponents who are into the commercialization. Now, as I have said, our center has developed 85 technologies, but unfortunately, only 3 of our student groups have turned themselves into startup. What about the remaining 82 technologies? We are looking for buyers. We are looking for buyers. But then, without securing our 82 technologies, if we just outright sell them, then we might not get the adequate value for that particular technology which is developed. And in that situation, what we do is we apply for patent, and courtesy Mr. Bante and SCSTE, we have been facilitated by the center, and our process of around 32 patents are in the progress. But we are facing certain challenges because academicians or the students for that particular matter do not know the realm or do not know the languages that are to be written in the context of filing a particular patent. And however sensitization program or how much awareness program or how much training or handholding you do, ultimately it becomes a bottleneck for the academicians, or it becomes a bottleneck for the students to go ahead. And that's how they become apprehensive about that. That's how they become reluctant about going or not going, and they remain in two situations. And this is what is going on not only in our university, maybe across all the educational institute across India, keeping aside few institutions of national importance. With these few words, I'd like to just end my short speech and presentation, or whatever I had to say on extempo mode. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Bante, and thank you, Department of Science and Technology and Environment, Government of Meghalaya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Amit Chaudhary, for highlighting some of the, I may say that, the drawbacks of patent or say intellectual property rights that you're facing in your university. So I understand that drafting or filing application is not that's easy. So from SAST side also we are doing our best, And regarding the previous application, then we can look into that. And because this is filing of patent is requires expertise from various fields like biotechnology, then civil engineering, or just electrical or something like that. So since you are already have one IPR cells set up in university, then maybe in the coming days or coming future, maybe we will work together in attaining these goals. So thank you, Dr. Chaudhary, for your presentation. So moving on to our next speakers, we have with us Dr. Rakesh Roy. Sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So that Dr. Rakesh Roy is an assistant professor, electrical engineering department, National Institute of Technology, Meghalaya. I believe that Dr. Rakesh Roy also has, in recent years, have filed one patent uh, from his innovation, right, sir?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I hand over this platform to you. If you share, would like to share with us on participant about your experience or about something related to the intellectual property rights which you are working on at the university.
Yes.
So do you have any
Thank
presentation?
I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
So is it visible, my presentation?
Yes, it's coming.
Okay. So actually, I will share my experience of developing a prototype or a model of an electric vehicle. So that vehicle means the prototype is funded by FCST, and it is also filed for a patent. So my complete experience, starting from the funding support to and the product development and the publication of the patent, that I will share now. So in this presentation, I will give those points which are very important point we will drafting it. So in the patent, we have to mention those points very clearly. So that I will do. So the thing is that there is a key carrier for to transport goods. So that is actually means the electric carrier which can be used to transport goods in any areas like plain areas or city areas. So first of all, the field of this innovation. So this innovation is primarily a four-wheeled electric vehicle which transport goods and in hilly area and also in the plain area. So in the plain area, we can see these kind of areas are already there. They are not using any electrical power, so they are using by manually only. But they are limited only in the plain area because in hilly areas it is very difficult to move it by pushing manually. So my idea is to develop a carrier what we can use in a hilly area where loads will be more, but we can easily carry those goods in the slope, either in coming up or the down. So here we are using actually two shafts. One is the front shaft that will be connected with two wheels, and also rear shaft that will be also connected with two wheels. And both the shafts has two motors, and two BLDC motors are used. Those motors are controlled by a controller, and that controller is getting the signal from the accelerator. Accelerator will be in the hand of the operator or the driver, and also the supply will be come from the battery. So next is the background of this innovation. So as I have already told that the hilly areas or when the load will be more, at that time it is very difficult for the operator to move the carrier from one place to another. So in that case, if an electric power source can be given, run this vehicle by using electric motors, so it will be really helpful for different persons to transport along from a long distance also. So what is the novelty in this carrier? Carrier actually a steering mechanism is given. This steering mechanism is given in the back side of the vehicle. So what happens? The driver can run the vehicle by pushing it with the steering, or it can be also moved by the electrical motor. So the driver can operate it from the back, and the steering will be connected to the front wheel. So when we move the steering, then the front wheel will also move. So the direction of the vehicle can be easily changed from the back side of the vehicle, either when it is pushed to run, or it can be run by electrical. So in that steering arrangement, we are also giving facility of sitting arrangement or the standing arrangement. So what is the benefit of that? So when the vehicle is running with a certain speed, means more than the walking speed, at that time the driver can either stand on that platform, or he can also sit on the platform, and from the platform he can easily move the steering. So here most important, the technical parts, the two different VLDC motors are using in two shafts. We can see in different vehicles, that's the EV, the two-wheeler EVs or the four-wheeler EVs, they are using only one motor. But here our problem is that we are using two motors, one motor in the front shaft and one motor we are using in the rear differential shaft. So what is the advantage of that? Because we are segregating the total power requirement. We know that when a vehicle will run in the hilly road with more load, at that time the power requirement will be more. But the vehicle will not run always in the hilly roads or always not climb up. It will sometimes it will run in the plain road. But when it is running in the plain road, we have no need to use a high power motor. We can use a small power motor also. Because if we use a high power motor, then the efficiency is reduced. So by using two motors, we are using only one motor in the plain route, and we are using two motors when it is required to climb up in the hill. So with that, the energy efficiency we are getting means in a very good amount. So these are the basically these novelties. So with these novelties, these advantages we can get. The advantages is that it can really adaptable to any terrain in the plain areas, hilly areas, with any road it can easily go. So it is also very simple to make, and it is also efficient, and as we are using batteries and motors, so it is also eco-friendly and available. So another most important thing, it can be locally constructed. Okay, and also no big setup or complex setup is required to make that kind of vehicle. So in any place, if this kind of manufacturing hub can be established, so there are a lot of people can be get employed, and this kind of vehicle can be manufactured. Now that you see that we are using electric battery for the energy source, so we can use the solar power also to get the energy, wind energy also we can use, and we can also observe that just as an example of Shillong, if we take in Shillong, we can see that in uh, different items they are selling, they are using four-wheel cars, generally Omni van, or they are using also cars. So those cars are minimum 3 to 4 lakhs. After that, they need petrol or diesel. Those petrol and diesel is also very costly nowadays. So for the means lower economy people, it is very difficult to use those cars for their business. So this kind of vehicle, what I have proposed, they can easily get it with a very low price and they can easily do the business. And also the advantage is that it is not dependent on petrol and diesel. And most importantly, it can use the electric battery power, and also it can be run as a manual load. Means while electric battery power is there, it should not be stopped. You can run it manually. So the thing is that it is also helpful in the rural areas where the road infrastructure is poor, and also diesel and petroleum is not easy to obtain. So now this is the design model. So before we make the prototype of the vehicle, we have to make a design. The 3D design is very much helpful to understand the loophole, means the place where it can be improved. So first we have made a 3D design of the model. So in this model, we can see that this is the steering arrangement. This is the steering arrangement. This is the steering arrangement. This blue color is given. There are the two accelerators. Two accelerators are, one accelerator is the for the rear differential shaft motor, and one accelerator is the front differential shaft motor. And this is the standing arrangement, and there is also a seat. So these are the wheels, and we can see that there are two compartments also. So this is the lower compartment, and this is the upper compartment. In upper compartment, we are keeping the goods, what we got to transport, and in the lower lower compartment, we are keeping all the electrical exercise, just like a controller, then you can see the battery, so converter, so those things we are keeping it in this compartment. Then we show a top view of this vehicle. So four wheels are there, and this is the good keeping compartment where we can keep our goods. So this is a front view. So we can see that in the front wheel there is a stand. It means it is connected to a bearing. Okay, through a shaft also you can say. This shaft can be moved by using this means steering. So the front wheel can be easily moved by the steering of what is kept in the backside of the vehicle. So after developing this prototype, then it is required. After developing this 3D design, then it is required to develop the prototype. So all the funding support to develop this prototype is given by the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment. So then this model is developed. We can easily see that there are four wheels, and after that this is the lower compartment, and this is the upper compartment. In the lower compartment, these are the batteries, and also the controllers are there. And we can see the front wheels, there is a motor. Similarly, in the rear wheels, another motor is also there. And this is the compartment, the yellow color, that compartment we are keeping the goods. And those are the steerings, and in the accelerators, so the accelerators we can run this motor. So next, some other front view and back view we are showing. Here you can see that one operator is standing on that vehicle, and he is driving that vehicle. And it is the back view where you can see that stand where the operator can stand there and it can be easily done. So now I will show you the videos of the running model of it. So we can show that in the route it is running easily with this accelerator. So I'll show another video where it can go up. A bit low it is going very easy, and no manual pushing is also required. So you can see that a bit slow it is going very easily. So the driver is moving the front wheel for back side easily. It can be easily steered. So now coming to the presentation. So you see So it will be very much useful in the Shillong or the hilly areas like Shillong that you can easily transport different routes from one place to another. So people are generally now using the four-wheeler cars. So four-wheeler cars, we know that they are 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, but now you see the budget details of my vehicle. It is by using all this differential motor, all these things, it is around 69,661 rupees only. So if we add with the when it will be commercialized, if we add, then also other GST and all those things, then also it will be less than one. And it is also running by batteries, so it can easily move by the electric power. And also it can run manually also. So there are a lot of advantage of this vehicle in the places like Shillong. So after developing this prototype, the first thing is that to make the IPR. Because if we not don't make it IPR, then it will not be the intellectual property of us. Then anybody can make it and can do their business. But the thing is that we cannot make it if we don't do the IPR. So after that work, we have approached to the SCSP Meghalaya for publishing the patent, and it is also accepted and is also filed for different. Here we can see that the CBR is filed, and after filing the patent, generally it is taking 2 ways. One is the early publication, and one is another 12 months process for publication. So you can see the patent is published on 10th December 2021. So it is basically the early publication we have done it. So there are a lot of students working on this model to develop the prototype of it. So after the patent publishing, then there is also a process of FPR. So this FPR has also come, and it is also being processed to reply for this FPR. After this FPR filing, generally the patent is being granted. So in the meantime, when the patent is published, we are also trying for commercialization of this product. So in this commercialization, actually, we need the funding support. Then we can easily manufacture this kind of vehicles, and we can commercialize or we can sell it to the local people and common people for their use. So finally, the conclusion that in regular career design, so that is available in plain areas. We know it is the name in the color we can see. So that is available in plain areas, but this is not applicable in the hilly areas because there are a lot of human forces are required to move it to climb up in the hilly road, and also it is very risky to climb down the hilly road because there is no braking facility. So there is a chance of accident. So in my vehicle we are giving a braking facility also. So with that we can easily means climb down safely. Then the design is not only available to users to use in any terrains, it also provides a wide variety of options using energy sources as manually or electrical that I have already told. That electrical, solar, wind energy we can also use. And the design accompanied with the advantages can have potential to enter into the new unexplored market and maybe fulfill the need of a new common low-cost public or good transportation, as I have already mentioned this. So this is my experience of overall this vehicle development, starting from the to obtain the funding support and developing the prototype, and also up to the publishing the patent, and also in future also we are in a process to make it commercialization. Hopefully we can make a commercial product of it, so then some people can use it. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rakesh Roy, for your wonderful presentation on the innovation which you have done in the university. So, Dr. Rakesh, what is the status of your application?
So actually now FTR this team FTR observation came. So I have already finished critical observation. So let's see.
Okay. So I wish all the best for the application. You will get through.
Yes.
till till its final stage, that is granted of the innovation. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us with us today and sharing with University, Sonipat, Haryana. She's also founder of Christian Foundation and the All Library Initiative, Shillong, right? This foundation is regarding mentoring of youth working on issues related to education, menstrual health, legal awareness, and in bringing about access to book in far thrown rural and broader areas in the northeastern region of India, with a special focus in the state of Meghalaya. Uh, Madam, I hand over the platform to you.
Yes,
Please.
I'm trying to share my screen here, but it says that it's not working. I have a presentation prepared. I'm sharing with you my screen.
Madam, you can just click on the presentation present now button, then you can just share the entire screen of
Yes,
the.
I'm trying to share present. I'm clicking on that. I'm sharing with you my entire screen, but the share button is not working. I don't know why. Okay, now it's working. Let's see. Okay. Are you able to see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just let me know if it's clear.
You can give in yeah, give it presentation mode. There's one button on the right corner.
On my right corner. Okay, wait. Yeah, no, so that I'll be able to navigate. Is this okay? Is this also fine? Are you able to see?
If you can give in the presentation mode, that will be more good.
Okay. I don't know why it's not. Hold on, hold on. Where do I press the button? So sorry. Just help
Can you
me.
see on the below of your PPT? There's one button next to the zoom in zoom out button. If I just click that small button there. No, no,
Okay, got it, got it. Slideshow.
no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's.
Can you see now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everybody. It has been very enlightening hearing the other professors talking about their experiences in IP. So, and thank you so much to the state government for allowing me to speak today on the basics of IP law. So, since this is a very, I have a very short time to explain about, IP laws, which is very broad in itself. Today, I'm just going to stick to the basics of IP law. All right. So, this is generally for the general public and for students. I'm going to make this very simple and uncomplicated. All right. So the focus today is on brand protection and geographical indications and potential for Meghalaya. So I would just talk about the general IP laws that are available in India. All right. And then after that, I'll be focusing on how one can protect their brand. All right. So when we talk about intellectual property rights, generally we always hear the general public saying, oh, can I protect my idea? Can I protect things that I have an idea in my head and I don't want anyone to steal it, so I want to protect it. Okay, so there's this general misconception that ideas can be protected, but actually that is a wrong notion. All right, because ideas cannot be protected. Ideas in itself cannot be protected until and unless these ideas materialize into something, into a product. Say for instance, talking about a trademark. Okay, so you have an idea, but that idea, say you want to call it the book project. Okay, let's just say that is the name of the brand. But whereas if it's just there in your head, then it cannot be protected. It can only be protected once you have started using that name, and after which you apply for a trademark. Okay, you register for a trademark, then that idea, it materializes into form, in written form, then it becomes, then you can protect it. Okay. And for instance, when you're talking about an idea, when you want to maybe you're talking about a story. So maybe you have an idea of a story, and that story you think, oh, I want to protect my idea, so therefore I'm going to go for an IPR. But how can you protect a mere idea that's there in your head? As you can see, this girl, she has so many jumbled up things, so many ideas, but then your ideas cannot be protected until and unless it materializes. So once a person writes that book, okay, puts all her or his stories in a book form or short stories, then that can materialize into say an article in a magazine, or a book, right, with various chapters. So once the idea materializes into a product, say like your name into a trademark, then your idea of stories into a book, or where it's written as an article, then only it can be protected under our intellectual, then it becomes an IP, an intellectual property that can be protected under the various IP laws that we have, right? So this is the general misconception that students have. They think that, oh, just generating an idea, you can protect your intellectual property rights, but actually that's the wrong notion. You can only protect once it materializes. Okay. So here, like, ideas are created into a product, such as invention, artistic work. Say for an invention, like we just now we heard about, talking about an invention, a product. So once that is done, and then a patent can be filed for that, right? And when you talk about a painting, an artistic work, if it's all in your head, then it cannot be protected. But once you've painted that work, then it can be protected under the Copyrights Act. Okay. So an idea at this stage, it is not protected, but intellectual property rights, or IP, it protects the materialized form of ideas, in which all the experts attending here today know. But like I said, I'm just talking on behalf of the general public and for students to understand. So in India, how are we protecting these rights? Okay, there are various forms of IP and related rights. When we talk about intellectual property, like I said, they can be trademarks, copyrights, industrial designs, integrated circuits, patents, geographical indications. Okay, but then we have other related rights as well. Okay, which I will be talking about later. So, from the legal aspect, we have various laws that are put, various statutes that are put in place to protect your rights. Okay, so we have trademarks. Trademarks is for lifetime, but you need to renew it after every 10 years. Okay, so what can you protect? You can protect a heading, a label, a name, a brand. Like you can see so many brands here in Shillong. Like we have, Smoky Falls Stripe Coffee. That's a trademark. You have your we pick, you have various other brands here in Shillong. You have Zizira, and then, so those are examples of a trade name or a brand name, right? But you can also protect certain combination of colors, shapes of goods, even the packaging you can trademark it. So all of this falls under the statute known as the Trademarks Act of 1999. Okay, so India, we follow, we are in compliance with the TRIPS agreement, okay, an international agreement, and hence we have all these laws. Okay, so the other one is copyrights. We hear this all the time. What are copyrights? So sometimes, there's an overlap between trademarks and copyright as well. One thing which we should remember about copyrights is that the protection term of protection is life plus 60. What does life plus 60 mean? That means that supposing if an author writes a book, then he or she has that protection, the copyright, okay, to gain royalties from that for life, for his or her entire life plus 60 years after their death. That means copyrights are transferable rights. You can even transfer your rights to your, maybe you can sell it to a company. You can, maybe your kith and kin can also inherit. Okay, but the protection is only throughout the life of the author, and once the author dies, then for another 60 years after death. So that means all the books that you see, sometimes you may think, oh, this book, Shakespeare's work, it must be copyrighted. But Shakespeare, he's died a long time ago. So therefore, you, even if you want to publish Shakespeare's work, you do not need to get any license, okay, copyright license to publish that, because now the author has been long gone for many years. Okay, so it has come to the public domain and you can use it. Okay, so that is the meaning of life plus 60. So what can you protect? You can protect literary works, dramatic works, musical work, computer programs. As you know, computer programs in India, we cannot patent it, okay, while writing that program, but you can copyright it. Okay, so the statute for that is the Copyrights Act of 1957. Then you have industrial design. When you talk about industrial design, the term of protection is 10 years plus 5. Okay, so like you've seen trademarks, it's for lifetime, but you have to renew it after every 10 years. But for copyrights, it's only after the life of the author plus 60. It is not for lifetime. Okay, copyrights. Industrial designs have a very short span, that is for 10 years, and you can extend it up to 5 years, that means 15 years. Okay, so basically the design of the product. For instance, like you have your Coca-Cola bottle, the shape, it does not talk about, for instance, patents look at utility, but industrial designs do not look at the utility of the product, but looks at the shape, the form, the design of that particular product. Say, for instance, like your phone, like how you have your Samsung phone and your Apple phone. Okay, so there was a huge case on that, right, regarding the design of the product. So in India, we have the Design Act of 2000. And then you have your patents. So one thing we should remember is that the term of protection for all these IPR, it's different in different countries. Okay, so for instance, for patents, we have 20 years in India. All right, so this includes, as we already have had experts who spoke about it just now, you can protect inventions, machines, chemical products, including medicines. Like you have, Novartis has many patents on cancer drugs. So all of this will be protected under the Patents Act. And then you also have geographical indication. Okay, what does geographical indication look at? It looks at the place of origin. Okay, so it can be agricultural products, foodstuff, wine, spirits, so all of those. Okay, even this, the term of protection is for a very long time, but one must one must ensure that it is renewed after every 10 years. So we must be very vigilant to ensure, regarding the what to say, the renewal of our geographical indication, which I will be talking about it further. Okay, and then we have traditional knowledge, which is in forever, in perpetuity. So with traditional knowledge, we do not have a specific act, okay, or a specific statute. All right, we don't have a specific statute that looks into this, but however, traditional knowledge, we have like WIPO, okay, World Intellectual Property Organization. They formed this traditional knowledge digital library, and in India also we have this. Because why did this come about? This came about, maybe you've heard that in the US you can patent anything under the sun. They tried to patent you know so they tried to patent basmati rice. They tried to patent neem, saying that it has medical purposes. They tried to patent turmeric as well. But as we all know, this is India's traditional knowledge, right? And this has been in our scriptures for a very long time, for thousands and thousands of years. So how can a person say that they have protection? Okay, how can they say that they can patent all of these chemical combinations with respect to neem and turmeric, saying that they have a patent over it. And once you have a patent over it, that means all of us will have to apply for licenses in case we want to make certain products made out of turmeric or neem, right? So that is very wrong. So this traditional knowledge came about. Basically, it's designed as a tool to assist patent examiners, okay, so they can do their search whether is it in existence or not, because a mere discovery cannot be patented, right? All of the experts here know that. But for the general public, in India, you cannot just patent everything. Okay, there are certain restrictions, okay, which I will be coming on to later. So traditional knowledge is very important, especially for Meghalaya. We have a dearth of knowledge with respect to our, like traditional medicines, traditional medicines, arts and craft. So all of these, it has to be digitized, and we have to collect all of these information so that maybe someone from the US doesn't just claim that maybe a certain root vegetable has medicinal properties, right? So that's what traditional knowledge is about, but we do not have any statute. Then you have your trade secrets. Even trade secrets, it's for lifetime. So until you reveal it, it's like you have to hide your recipes. Like you have like your KFC, you have your Krispy Kreme. So those are examples of, these are related rights, okay, with respect to IP. There's no law, but you just have to keep it a secret and not reveal, okay, because that is the winning formula for your business to prosper. Okay. So now coming on to brand protection, especially with the name, what kind of things can be trademarked? Okay. Here, in simple terms, you can trademark letters, okay, like you see LG, dictionary terms, a device, names, colors, a logo, like you can see here, the McDonald's logo, and this other example, you can see high heels over here. You must be wondering why they are there, because the color of the soles are actually trademarked, okay, by Christian Louboutin, who makes shoes for women. Okay, so it's a trademark, this combination of the red sole heels with the black with this the black shoe. It's actually a trademark by Christian Louboutin, who made it very famous. So in this case, there was a case between Yves Saint Laurent, which is another fashion house. Okay, they had a blue colored shoe, and then the soles of the shoe was red in color. So then Christian Louboutin, they filed a case against them, saying that the red soles belong to Christian Louboutin. But obviously Christian Louboutin lost, because what the court said, they said that only a combination of black and red, that would belong to Christian Louboutin. But if Yves Saint Laurent were to make like a blue shoe with red soles, that's perfectly okay, because that's not a trademark of Christian Louboutin. Okay, so there are many many technicalities, when it comes to trademarks as well, because obviously a color, okay, it can't just belong to one person, right? It belongs to everybody. But then the artistic form of the way that Christian Louboutin has combined black and red together, that has become a trademark. Okay, so then how do you decide what can be trademarked? So you look at the spectrum of distinctiveness. Distinctiveness, that means what makes it very unique. Okay, so it has to be when you talk about something that's invented, like you have Kodak, it has no meaning, it doesn't suggest anything. But we know that Kodak and Xerox, when you talk about Kodak, you immediately, your attention, it goes towards cameras. When you talk about Xerox, it immediately goes to a photocopying machine, right? So it should not be something that's very generic, and it should not be very descriptive, but it should be arbitrary and invented. Okay, but then even if you have dictionary meaning words, say like for instance, like you have apple. Okay, you have apple here. When you talk about when you see apple, you think, oh, how generic, that name is so generic. But then it is not suggestive, in the sense that when you talk about apple products, you're not talking about a fruit, but you are talking about say like a computer or other electronic products, which makes it non-suggestive that, oh, apple is a fruit. No, it, when you talk about apple the brand, you think about electronic products, right? So there are things like that where you can use certain names, okay, for different products. So in a way, why I'm talking about brand protection today, because I understand that there are many entrepreneurs, upcoming entrepreneurs here in Meghalaya, and I feel that it's so important for them to protect their name, because that is what sells. You know, later on, if they intend to sell their company, they can also sell their trademark, right? Which it can, after IP valuation, it can go for a, the company can go for a higher price. You know, so you can commercialize on the name. If people want to, license that name also, since they have similar, they're selling similar products, they can do that. So I feel it's very important for people to know about trademarks. Okay, so so what are very distinctive marks? Okay, what makes a trademark very distinctive? It has to be fanciful, arbitrary. Okay, so all of these listed things. Okay, but something that's generic, maybe you have a photo company and you just call it photo company, your trademark will be rejected because it is not it's just plain words, right? So you cannot just trademark such things. Okay, then we come to the basic concepts of copyright. What does copyright protect? This is the symbol for copyright. Okay, I hope students can see this. So what does it protect? It protects your original work of authorship. It protects your expressions of ideas rather than the ideas themselves. Remember, I had already told you that in IP, in order for it to gain intellectual property rights protection, it has to be an expression of something. It cannot be a mere idea. Of course, you might have ideas. Your ideas cannot be protected. Only the expression of the idea. Okay. For the talking about the example that I had given earlier, for instance, you have a story in mind, but that's just an idea, you cannot protect it. Once you write it down, okay, then it becomes an expression of idea and then it can be copyrighted. All right. So copyright, it commences the moment the work is created, and the registration is optional. It's at the option of the person. So copyrights can be even for music, lyrics, all of those things. Okay. So, but however, what is not copyrighted, okay, are certain things. Say for instance, like today I'm using various logos, right? I'm using the logo of Apple. I use the picture of Christian Louboutin shoes, but there is this but I do not need to pay licenses to the owner for using those images. Why? Because under copyright law there is this doctrine called the doctrine of fair use. Okay, and under this doctrine, if you use it for educational and research purposes, like how we are doing it today, then it does not it means that I am not infringing upon anybody's rights. Okay, I am within my rights to use this because I'm not using it for any commercial purpose. As you can see here, it's for non-commercial use. I'm using it for research purposes. Okay, and even if you have news reports, current affairs, if you use say if you use certain brand names, you do not need to pay licenses for that. Because why? It's for it's for the purpose of writing the news, okay, to inform the public about current affairs. All right. So even reverse engineering of a computer program as well. So then what are the other copyright protections that you have? Say for instance, for authors, you have the economic right of the author under section 14. Then you have the moral right of the author. Okay, so what do these mean? Economic right, moral right. Okay, say again, just to explain to the general public and to students, when you talk about moral rights, it means whenever an author writes, say, a poem, a story, a book, and you want to cite that, okay, and you want to mention that, you should always mention that it has, within quotes, that it has been written by so and so author, right? Maybe you're quoting say like what to say, so tham, you can't just say that this poetry belongs to me, right? The author has the moral right. That means the author will have, that means you should always write the name of the author, okay, when you quote someone. All right. So, but what are these economic rights? Economic rights, when it comes to, say, copyrights, means that you gain an advantage, you gain something like money. Okay. So maybe there is a painting. Okay. I am an artist. I've painted something and I've sold it to you. Okay. So once I've sold it to you, that means, you've gained an advantage from that. I will only have the moral right with respect to that painting, but you will have the copyright of that painting. Why? Because you have bought it. Okay. So now it belongs to you, but the moral right will belong to me. Okay. So that is the meaning, just to put it in simple terms. Okay. So then, now moving on, I hope I'm not boring anybody. These are just basics of copyrights, of IP. Since you all know that IP, it is a very vast and broad subject, I cannot touch upon everything, just the basics. Okay, I hope that's okay, Bante.
Yes, yes, it's okay, ma'am. Please carry on.
All right, then we have industrial designs. Okay, so like I've told you before, industrial designs, uh, it just means, regarding the features and the shapes, configuration, pattern. So this means that it does not need to have any utility as such. It may be something very, just a design of a thing. Okay, so for this, it is protected under Industrial Designs Act. All right. So it can be a shape, a pattern of any article. So, for instance, this is an example of, an industrial design and how it's been drawn. Okay. So this is with respect to a bottle. So you have to show the different components of the design, the top view, the section, like the overcap. Here you can see the screw cap that's made of aluminum. So you have to mention all of these details. All right. See here, you can see that they've mentioned the different materials as well. So when you file for a design, under the Designs Act, you have to ensure that you write all of these details. And here, this is a toolbox. Okay, I know it has some utility, but the design of it all, so this is protected. So you have to put it in detail. Okay, all the designs and patterns. I won't be touching much now on patents, since all of you are experts in the field, and just now we had professor explaining about his rather his work or invention. Okay, so we just need to know that when it comes to patents, it's a different ball game altogether. Okay, so when it comes to patents, you're looking at something which is novel, it has an inventive step, and it comes under patentable subject matter under the Indian Patent Act, right? So you have to give a very detailed specification. What is its industrial application? Okay, what is the utility, unlike your Designs Act? So this is an example of a very old patent application in the US. It's the Edison bulb. Here you can see with all the specifications. And then here you can see Bluetooth. Okay, you see this R sign. So when you talk about this, then you know that it's a trademark. Okay, it's a registered trademark. And then even for your Bluetooth design also. And then you also have a patent for the interface of touch screen, how it works. Okay, this can also be patented. It's already been patented. But then, like I said, in America, they say that you can patent anything under the sun. Okay, but in India, it is not like that. And I've given you the example of why traditional knowledge, the digital library came about, so that people would not take undue advantage of something that's already discovered and already exists, right? So in India, we have a very good patent regime, okay, where you cannot patent everything under the sun, okay, unlike the US. So here, anything you make something very frivolous, okay, something that is well established by natural laws, okay, then a mere discovery, just because you discovered that turmeric is good for cuts and burns, and then you make a medicine out of it, that formulation, you cannot get a patent for it because it's just a mere discovery. Then just a mere admixture,
Okay, and just because you're arranging and rearranging, say something maybe like an iPhone, you're just rearranging it and you're duplicating it, you will not get a patent for that just because it's different. And then a method for agriculture and horticulture, and then any process for medical, medicinal, surgical, curative, okay, diagnostic, therapeutic, or other treatment of human beings, or any process for a similar treatment of animals to render them free of disease, or to increase the economic value of their products. We know, of course, medicines, you can patent them, right? You have so many cancer drugs, TB drugs, like, and even HPV drugs like sufosbuvir, daclofenacin, all these type of medicines, you can patent them, okay? But you cannot patent everything, okay? So what does the Indian Patent Act do is that it stops, when especially talking about medicines, it stops people from evergreening. Evergreening means, for instance, like, you know that in India we have a protection of 20 years, right, for patents. Once it's approved, that means you can commercialize for 20 years, in which if people want to make your medicines, they have to get license from you, okay, and then you can sell that license and gain a profit, right? But you cannot do that forever. Once 20 years it's over, then everything, it comes under public domain. And when it comes under public domain, that means anybody can make that medicine, okay? I'm just using the example of medicines. So to stop evergreening is like, for instance, in America, just because one pill has changed color from red to green, they're saying that, oh, this is a new, invention, and it's more, the efficacy of this drug is better, so that's why, the shelf life is longer. So this is a new, I'm applying for a new patent. Maybe in America you can do that, but not in India, okay? Just a mere change, just a little change, like here you can see, okay, frivolous claims, and you're just making, an admixture just to, change it a little bit, that will not grant you a patent in India, especially with respect to medicines. So why it's so important to stop evergreening is because, especially for essential medicines, we need it for the general public, to cure the public, right? And if big pharma were to have that patent forever, and it does not come to the public domain, then medicines would be very expensive. And therefore we have lawyers who fight for justice with respect to, access to affordable medicines for the general public, okay? Maybe a drug, which is like, say, $8,000 in the US, can just cost, like, for like, $50 in India, okay? Anyway, coming back to this, so there are other things under Section 3 of the Indian Patent Act that are not, protected under patents, okay, like a mathematical or business method, and all of these things, okay? These are just very general. We have better experts who are present here today that can explain about patents, but these are just basic. So in case there's something that you don't want to come out to the general public, that you don't want it to come in the public domain, like I said, every kind of IP has as a protection, limited protection of a few years. Remember, I showed you trademarks, it's for lifetime. Copyrights, life plus 60. Industrial designs, 10 plus 5 years. Patents, you have for 20 years in India. So maybe there are certain things that you do not want to come out in the public domain after the term has expired. So what do you do then? How do you protect your IP? So there's this thing called trade secrets. And trade secrets and confidential information is something that, you have to keep a secret yourself, okay, between only your trustworthy people, okay? So we have the trade related aspects of intellectual property rights, okay, the TRIPS agreement. And then here, you have information that must be kept secret at all time, and it can have a commercial value. So you take reasonable steps, okay, for the owners to keep it secret. It's that simple, okay? So for example, maybe you've seen all of these brands, okay, but we don't know the formula for this. It's been like Coca-Cola has been there for 100 years, KFC, it's been there for a very long time, even Listerine, Krispy Kreme, all of these brands, okay, these are very famous trade secrets. They do not have an IP on their formula, Okay, because if they have an IP on the formula, say like Coca-Cola might have a patent for their for their drink, but then in India patent protection lasts only for 20 years, and after 20 years it comes under public domain. So when it comes under a public domain, that means anybody can make the same product as Coca-Cola, but they want to keep it secret, so they've just kept the formula secret till date. Okay, and even when it comes to KFC, the way you make the chicken crunchy, the formula, everything, they've been able to keep it in complete secrecy. So that's what it means by trade secrets, and this costs no money, no what to say, no money, no time, wasted on filing in all these government offices, because you're just keeping it a secret. Okay, all your formula. Okay. So that's what trade secrets are about. And especially when it comes to confidential information in India, sometimes we think about confidential information, okay, as something very secretive. And then there are also, maybe, for example, like in this case of Mr. Daljit Titus versus Alfred and others. It was in the Delhi High Court. It's a very famous case. And this, it's with respect to a client list. Say, for instance, I am a business and I have a long client list that I've been curating for many, many years. It has their phone number, their email. So, can that be protected under confidential information or not? Okay, so that actually can be protected under copyright law as well, because you have put that input to make sure, to make that list. It took you a lot of time, and if other were to use that without your authorization, then a case of infringement can be filed against you. Okay, and then in this Daljit Titus case, even the confidential information of the employer can be protected even in the post employment period. Many times we see, there are these confidential information clauses in your employment contract, right? So this particular case, it clarified that confidential information, even after the employee has left, this confidential information be protected even after that. Okay, so those are the basics of IP. And do I still have time? Am I audible? Hello? Hello, am I audible?
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can
Okay.
carry on, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, I'll just wrap things up. So then we have our geographical indications, which are so important, especially for a region like Meghalaya. Okay, because we have a very unique type of soil, climate, and we are very culturally diverse in this country. So there are many things that can be protected, like our handicrafts, our agricultural products, and things like that. Okay, things of that nature. So, what are these geographical indications? They basically, it's a sign, okay, to show the place of origin of a particular product. All right. So, under international law, under Article 22 of the TRIPS Agreement, it defines geographical indications as indications which define a good as originating in a territory of a member. So here the territory is important, or a region or locality or territory where a given quality, reputation, or other characteristics of good is essentially attributable to the geographical origin. So here we can see that, okay, the number one thing is the where the product has originated from and what makes it so unique, okay, which is attributed to the geographical origin. Okay, that means the geography of the place. So for instance, what can you get a GI for, a GI tag for agricultural products? Okay, then food stuff, wine and spirits, handicrafts, industrial products. In the northeast, especially for agricultural products, we've seen like the miso chili getting a GI tag. Food stuff, we've seen rasgulla, okay, in which Orissa has gotten the GI tag. Wine and spirits, we've seen a rice beer, from Assam, And then handicrafts, we've seen a handicrafts such as Muga silk, which has received a GI tag. Okay, so these are examples. Why should we have a GI tag? What are the importance? So these, just to highlight, you look at the custodians, that means the people living in that geographical area, and they have, they need some commercial gain, right, from making those products. Otherwise everyone will just make those same things and sell it and say that, oh, this is made in Shillong, when it's not made in Shillong, right? So in order to conserve as well the environment and biodiversity, okay, and to preserve traditional practices and culture, okay, and to avoid biopiracy as well. Okay, so these are the justification for protection. Otherwise anyone these days with a machine, they can replicate and copy the same thing, and say that, oh, this product, it's Shillong wine, for instance, when it has not been made in Shillong, right? So people these days especially, they want to know what is the place of origin, where does this particular product come from, and having a GI tag gives it that certificate of authenticity, that it is actually from Shillong, okay, say a wine or spirit or handicraft, okay, for example. So, what is the importance of geographical indicators for producers to show the differentiation of a product? Many people can make wine, right? But if you say Shillong wine, it gives it a different, a GI tag for Shillong wine would attract, a different kind of, different kinds of consumers, showing that, oh, I'm assuring you that this is genuine quality that has been made in Shillong and nowhere else. Okay. And for producers, it shows that it gives them goodwill. What does goodwill mean? It means, that it is trustworthy, right? These products are trustworthy. And to show that these products are differentiation, it's different from the rest. Say Assami make an Assam wine and we can have a Meghalaya wine, but what gives it, that differentiation? It's because it's made in Shillong, the climate, the temperature is different, the method of making it is different in this particular region. Okay, so I'll show you different examples of geographical indications. Maybe you can identify some of them. Can you identify what this is? Can anybody identify? So, for instance, this is Champagne, and Champagne is a region in France. All right. So there was a Spanish competitor that wanted to make Spanish champagne, but then they lost the case because Champagne is a place that is found in France only. So only those people living in that Champagne region can call it champagne. Okay. And not anybody else. Okay. For instance, obviously you can license your GI as well. And then when it comes to tobacco products, okay, when you talk about Havana cigar, okay, it can, so the place of origin is Havana. And then you have your famous Darjeeling tea, and then you have your Swiss watches that's so famous, right? and and then there's this big contender here, basmati rice. Okay, this has been under controversy for so many things, not just for GI but also for patents. For instance, there was a US company that wanted to patent basmati rice, saying that they've created something new. Okay, some long grain rice that has a very nice smell. So therefore, this particular US company, they patented basmati rice, but obviously later it was faced with an opposition by India, since the, it is just a mere discovery, right? It is not something that's been invented. Say if they had invented this particular variety, then obviously it would belong to them, but it was not invented by them. It's there in old Indian texts that it originated from India, so how can they use that? But then again, even with GI, there's a contention that it belongs to Pakistan as well, because it's a part of the same region, right? In unified India, there was India and there was Pakistan. So this particular type of rice grew in such regions, right? In India and Pakistan as well. So now when it comes to basmati rice, so India can stake a claim as well as Pakistan, because it's in that particular geography. So they can call it basmati rice, right? So these are the examples, okay, which I showed you just now, famous examples. So now when you look at this symbol, okay, this symbol, it's the GI tag symbol of India. And there's a tagline in which invaluable treasures of incredible India. So in India also we have a special act. It's called Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act, okay, of 1999, but it only came into force in September 2003. Okay, so this is the act that protects it. If you look here, according to these statistics, you'll see a breakup of GI applications filed on March 2016. This is an old data. You'll see here, how many applications has been made. For instance, when it just started in 2003, 2004, there were only 6 applications. Okay, and later it grew. In 2011 to 2012, there were around 148. Okay, so you can find this report from the Office of the Controller General of Patents, Designs, Trademarks, and GI. There's an annual report that's published every year, so you can look at that. And then you can see in India, which is, in 2017, which were the most popular GI registrations. Mainly it was handicraft, as you can see here, handicrafts, then agricultural products. And this is an example of, 2017 state-wise applications. So we also have Meghalaya that's filed, for GIs. And then the first GI tag in India, it was granted to Darjeeling tea, as you all know. Okay, and there are other GI tags from India. This is an example. This is actually a GI certificate that was given to Rasgola, to the government of Orissa. Okay, so these are the different types of GI tags from India. You have your ginger, you have your Muga silk, miso chili, Manipur black rice, Rasgola, Idu Mishmi textile, okay, which is handicraft. And then you also have a rice a rice wine from Assam that has been, which has received a GI tag. So what is the significance of GI? We already know that, Meghalaya is so unique and its climate is so conducive, especially for organic farming. And you will see that we already have GIs that have been granted in Meghalaya as well, right? I'll come to that later. So what is the process of filing? So this is the process of filing a GI. Okay, you have to get the form, okay, from the IP website. In case you want me to share, I can share it with the students who are attending this program today. And then you have to have all these copies, okay, statement of case accompanied by 5 additional representations. So why am I talking about these processes? It's because sometimes, no matter how good your case may be to get your GI tag or trademarks, it's all because of paperwork. You have to ensure that you have all your paperwork ready in order for your GI to succeed, okay, or for your trademarks to be application to be successful. So that is one thing that you should remember, that it's so important to look at these technicalities. They may seem boring, but it is very important to have your papers ready. So this is the process, and these are the things that are needed. Okay, you have to you can either apply just say domestically here in India, but there's a convention application as well, just like how you have for trademarks. Okay, so what are the contents of a GI tag applications? These are the things that are needed. Okay, you can go through in the website, it's all there. So like I said, you need to have all your papers ready. So in Meghalaya thus far, we have these applications that are available on public, in the public domain. So we have here the name, we have had the bamboo shang or trap, Larnai clay pottery, Lakadong turmeric, Khasi mandarin, Memong narang. Okay, so these are the status, both for bamboo shang, okay, and Larnai clay, it has been rejected. Right now, Lakadong turmeric, there was a date they filed it on this is the date of filing. Okay, they filed it on the 15th of February 2021. So the examination, like, it's still pending, so we don't know the status yet. Okay, we haven't received any certificate so far. Then you have Khasi Mandarin, that is Sonyamtra, okay, which is so unique to this region. Just the texture of the orange, the taste, the properties that this orange have, and even this other Memong Narang, which is from the Garo Hills. Okay, so these two have received a GI tag. Okay, so if you see here, this GI tag for Sonyamtra, okay, Khasi Mandarin, why did it receive a GI tag? Because it's the primary gene center of the world's citrus species crops. Okay, it contains bioactive compounds. So all these scientists have been able to prove that they have these type of compounds, and to prove that they have health benefits. So whether it's the peel, whether it's just the peel, the bark, or the flowers, they all have some kind of medicinal quality in them. An Ayurvedic medicine for preparation of Ayurvedic medicine. And then also, due to these unique features, all right, Meghalaya has been given the GI tag for Khasi Mandarin. So here you can see, I got this information from the IBEF. It says, rich in ascorbic acid and vitamin C, the Khasi Mandarin is a unique type of orange from Meghalaya. So due to its uniqueness, okay, it received a GI tag. And then we have another type of orange, okay, Memang Narang, which also received the GI tag. Okay, it is here also it's consumed for medicinal properties. It has significant religious importance. Remember, I said that GI, it is not just basically with respect to the region, but it also involves some kind of cultural significance as well. It indicates that. And here you can see that this particular variety of orange, it almost went extinct. Okay, because they were preferring cash crops, but now due to its GI tag, more people are cultivating this Memang Narang, okay, which is so unique in itself. But then what about the Larnai property, pottery, and with respect to the bamboo trop? Why did the trop, okay, or shang, a shang is basically a basket made from bamboo, why did it get rejected? So both Larnai and the trop, it got rejected because they did not produce sufficient documentary evidence. Okay, this was way back in 2013, and it lacked historical data, and also they lacked the details of product specification, the process, the method adopted, to explain what's so unique about this. Because you can see clay pottery is very famous in throughout the northeast, throughout India. But what makes this so significant, with respect to, maybe they could have used better scientific methods to show how these are made. Maybe the clay is very, they should have tested the clay, the soil that is used for making Larnai property pottery. But then there were no proper supporting documents, and that's why it was rejected. Okay, so they could not prove the historical origin and the reputation of the project. Had the government been able to prove the uniqueness, the historical origin, and the reputation, then perhaps it would not have been refused. And that is why in whatever application we must do, we have to get our paperwork done. It's not enough to just have these products being made, but we have to get our paperwork. Okay, so how I want to end this is by saying that, in Meghalaya, we need to have a better convergence of different departments working together. Whether it's the horti agri department, or the patents department, or any other department relating to these same issues. They should work in tandem with the law department as well, to ensure that you have all your documents ready and you do not get your applications rejected. So I feel there should be a convergence of all of these departments working together. All right, and there's so much potential, especially with agricultural products. getting a GI tag. For instance, you have like coffee, like you have your Tirna coffee and coffee grown in the Garo Hills. You have your fibrous rice from Maukhasyang Ribhoi district as well. We have certain unique agricultural products that can be protected, okay, that can get a GI tag. And besides that, we have so many entrepreneurs, so we need to help them with filing their trademarks. And with that, we have, a law expert in place to help everyone, with their application. I think it will, help them with their businesses. So with that, I've come to the end of my presentation, and I hope that, I've been able to explain it in a very simple manner. Thank you so much for inviting me today. So I will just end my presentation here. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much, Ma'am Badabyang, for such a wonderful presentation. We all know that IPR is a very vast subject, but still you presented in a very concise way with all the valuable informations which you share, right from all the types of the IPs, which include the GI also, which I think GI is one of the very important components with in the context of the states of Meghalaya. So thank you so much, ma'am. So we have come to the end of the webinar, but before we end the programs, and on behalf of the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, would like to express my gratitude to all our esteemed delegates, presenters who has contributes for making this webinar a great success. And also I would like to extend my special thanks to the DST SSTP for initiating this 1 year celebration of Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav through VigyanUtsav on the one man, one team initiative, and especially on this month on the theme of IPR, which I think is very much important, especially for the states of Meghalaya. I also like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Joram Beda, IAS, who is the member secretary of SCSTE, for his support and encouragement to be a part of this 1 year celebration initiated by DST. Thank you so much, sir. And also like to express my special gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Debapriya and Dr. Rashmi Sharma from the Seed Divisions DST for their forefront and hard work in bringing this initiative into reality. Thank you so much, Dr. Debapriya and Dr. Rashmi Sharma. I also like to thanks to all the dignitaries from the ministry for attending this webinar. I'd like to thank all the member secretaries and representatives of the different state council across India for attending this webinar and also for providing this support and framework in organizing this program. And on behalf of the SCSTE Meghalaya, I humbly express my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to all the invited speakers for sparing your valuable times and be a part of this webinar. I'll express my thanks to Dr. Amit Chaudhary. Thank you so much, sir. We have been associated with you, sir, since we signed the MOU for setting up of the IPR cell in your institution. So thank you so much, sir, also for sharing your experiences with regards to the IPR as an academicians. Thank you so much, sir Amit. I also like to thank Dr. Rakesh Roy, who is the Assistant Professor, Electrical Engineering Department of National Institute of Technology and IT Meghalaya, for sharing your experience with regards to filing your innovation. And we wish you all the best also till your patent is granted. And we wish also for your commercialization of your innovation. So thank you so much, sir. I also like to thanks to Ma'am Badabyang Tidakar, who is the Assistant Professor of Legal Practices, OP Jindal University, Sonipat, Haryana, founder of the Kershan Foundation and the Al Library Initiative, Shillong. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing your times, for sharing all the importance aspect and the importance rights and protections which related to IPR, which you have shared it in very concisely. And I hope that this presentation really helps the students, the researcher and the innovators at the grassroots and also a general public. Thank you so much, ma'am. So I also like to thanks to our own OSD, Mr. S. Suting, for his guidance and support in organizing this program. Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiration and guidance. And also like to thank the CDAP team for the live telecast on the DST SSTP portal and the YouTube channel for wide publicity of this event. Thank you so much, CDAP team. I also like to express my gratitude to organizing team of the SASTE, to Mr. Bante Do Lingkhoi and Kong Viva Lingdo, who is the assistant project coordinator, and also all my colleagues in the council who has been uh, helping us in organizing this program. So thank you, my colleague from the SCSTE. And so last but not the least, let me thank everyone once again for making this webinar a grand success. And please accept my apology if I fail to mention any one of you. Once again, thank you so much, Kuble Shibun and Mikhela. So we have come to the end of this webinar. And once again, thank you so much to all of you.
Second dinner. Can I can end stream Friday? Kadang continue with that. Click can end stream Friday. End stream. Come down.